An epic leg day is about to go down, and I don't have too much to say before we go there, but I just wanted to come on here and say a couple things. It's probably not going to be too much different than the last leg day. I'm definitely going to start with the lion hamstring curls, probably two legs at the same time. And then I don't think I'm going to do any RDLs today. I'll probably, if the seated hamstring curl is open, I'm going to hop on those. I'm trying to spare my lower back a little bit so I could go a little bit heavier on some quad movements if that is possible. Because although the RDLs are primarily hitting my hamstrings, my lower back does tend to get a little bit pumped up, which makes it kind of hard to move into some uh, quad movements straight after. And I'd like to go a little bit heavier on my single leg quad movements. And as I have stated before, we are trying to prioritize the quads. So, a little less volume on the hamstrings, maybe not necessarily needing to go as heavy, should preserve what I have built of the hamstrings, and then, you know, eking out whatever I can from the quads. I don't expect to be growing anything, but if I can build my strength, I will definitely take it. You know, bringing my strength up as much as I can in a health phase would also be pretty healthy, in my opinion, as long as if I don't bust up my knees. But that's it for me for right now. I will see you guys at the gym. It's everyone's favorite day of the week. That's right. It's leg day, and today was especially brutal. If you look in the upper left hand corner, you can see I'm only doing 90 pounds on the lion ham curls this week. So the weight went down, but my goal here was to swing a little bit less and have less flexing in the lower back, which was amazing. My lower back did not flare up, and the hamstring pump I got was phenomenal. Uh, Hamstring curls, I think, on any type of leg day, whether you train hams and quads on the same day, or just hams on one day, just quads on the other, you should always start off with some kind of hamstring curl, whether it's lying down, seated, or single leg. This is just a great way to warm up the knees before you really do anything like heavy RDLs, heavy deadlifts, heavy squats, primarily because it warms up the knee joint from the backside. Whereas if you do leg extensions, which can work, that's going to potentially put a little bit more pressure onto the knee. So I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and it has been feeling great. And I kind of stopped doing it for a while, and my knees were causing me some pain. So I've gone back to it, and they feel great, and I don't need to put knee sleeves on anymore. At the end of this set here, you can see I'm just holding the last rep. Kind of looks like it froze, but I'm doing an ISO hold to just get a little bit more blood in there because I knew I wasn't going to be doing too many hamstring sets today. We're doing single leg lion ham curls now. Didn't feel like moving to another machine. I actually wanted the seated leg curl that was behind me, but it was being used, so I just stuck on this machine. I did 55 on the first set, and it was a little bit too heavy. I just felt like I wasn't getting a great squeeze. I kind of had to force the movement a little bit more than I would have liked, but I only got 8 reps per leg, so I just alternated a little bit and got 2 more on each leg there, just so I could get a little bit more volume in there. And then we moved down to about 40 pounds per leg for just a couple more sets. But overall, feeling great. Mini cut is going exceptionally well. You can see the erectors just popping through the sweatshirt, which is always great to see. Um, but yeah, these feel great. Didn't do any hip hinging movements today. I don't necessarily think that you need to do them every hamstring workout. Um, I definitely think it's important to have some kind of hip hinge in your program, but I wasn't really trying to put any stress on my lower back, um, because I believe I said this in the beginning of the video that I wanted to do some heavier leg movements later in the workout, which is what you're going to see here. I'm doing some walking dumbbell lunges. These felt great. First two sets were with the 70s, and I did 12 reps per leg, just walking straight down the red turf here, looking onto the great American flag in the distance. These are brutal, and honestly, I loved them so much. I need to do them a lot more often. I, once again, single leg movements for the quads, I specifically feel a great pump, and that is what I'm looking for when it comes to growing my quads. I need to build a much better connection, and these are what's going to do it for me for sure. Just kind of brushing through the sets so you guys don't have to watch me, just walking up and down the turf for like 7 minutes straight as I just brutally, you know, it's so hard to breathe during these. It's almost hard to watch, I think I'm starting to break a sweat a little bit. Drop the weights here, go into a little body weight drop set. As you can see, that's my wife making her debut on the channel, watching me suffer, supporting me through her thoughts. Appreciate her so much. Anyway, I was only able to get, I think, 4 reps per leg on the bodyweight drop set, and I think I sat down for a couple minutes after because I was just totally dead. You can see that little awkward walk at the end. Moving on to the Cybex squat press, once again making an appearance on the channel. I'm not sure why, but my head is very red at the moment. I'm for sure breathing, but my quads were just absolutely annihilated. So the weight wasn't an all-time best, but it was very heavy nonetheless. And I was really trying to focus on going a lot deeper. Going back and watching some of this footage has, made me look at myself and think that I could potentially get a little bit more range of motion out of some of my movements. But my face is very red, and I couldn't see my face while doing these, but I could just feel the amount of pain that was surging through my body. So after this set here, I strip off 2 plates per side and switch to a close stance with my feet. And this was just to get a little bit more emphasis on the teardrop of my quads. And I'm raising my heels off of the pad just a little bit, just to kind of push more into the quads, get more blood in there, and just, emphasize the quad instead of the overall leg. These felt really good. I've kind of been experimenting more with close feet stance style movements. And they're working for me so far, so I think I'm just going to keep messing around with them for sure. This machine, like I've said before, feels great. It kind of moves at it almost feels like a half circle, I guess. It's not so much like in a straight line like a regular leg press. I don't know how to explain it exactly. I'm no scientist, clearly, but if you've ever used this machine, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Definitely a great variation for any squatting or leg pressing type movements. But we made the last set here a drop set, which of course felt horrible, but just made the pump a whole lot better for sure. Just watching me go through the pain. Not very much is going through my head at the current moment. I'm just trying to suffer through the set, not just making it through 1 rep at a time, thinking more. Every rep sucks. that's just kind of how legs go. If you want big legs, you kind of just have to bear through the pain. It is just the reality of the matter. And I've kind of avoided it for a while, or not necessarily avoided it, but it's time to level up. So we're gonna suffer a little bit more. And the pendulum sissy squats are making a return again. First 2 sets I went up in weight, just put a 10 on there, and I definitely emphasized the pause a lot more. And the last few reps on every set were just crazy difficult. Like, you know that feeling on some exercises where your quads just start shaking, and it feels like they're going to collapse. That's pretty much what the last 4 reps on every set felt like, and that is the feeling I'm trying to achieve, to build a deeper connection with my quads. You know, get nice and intimate with them, really learn who they are, understand them, and then maybe they perhaps will understand me more and will grow closer, and they'll grow bigger. But after this last rep here, I take the plate off and then just drop it down to no weight and just rep it out until I can't anymore. Pretty much a body weight, but still using the pendulum squat movement pattern to finish off the quad workout. Eking out the last few reps, and every single pause just feels awful. I think I was trying to rush through it at the beginning there, and then I realized I needed to slow it down to really get everything out of the quads. I even took a breather there, as you just saw. But that's going to wrap up the leg workout today. I will see you in the posing room. All right, that is a wrap on legs. And honestly, that was one of the best leg workouts I've had in a long time. Both hamstrings and quads. I was going to do the seated ham curls, but it was being taken. And I thought about doing the single leg ham curl that they have here. But then I thought about it a little bit more. And I don't know if I'm too short. It's probably the case. But just the way that it feels, it's really heavy, but not in a good way. And I was already on the line, leg curl, so I figured I'll just drop the weight and then do a couple sets. We only did 7 sets for hams today, but it felt good. I had a really good pump. And then we moved on to quads. And I haven't done the walking dumbbell lunges in a while, but they felt really nice. And I was exhausted after every single set. But yeah, my quads are pumped. They're definitely going to be cramping tomorrow, but probably not going to see much detail in them right now because they're just so pumped up. But I mean, you can kind of see they've definitely got some mass to them, that's for sure. Finally got some veins coming back as well. Let's see if we can pop the adductors a little bit here. Yeah, lighting here is a little bit weird. I didn't lower the exposure or anything, but they're gonna be cramping tomorrow, but you can minimize that. And I'm certainly hoping that all the water I drank is gonna minimize it. I drank over half a gallon this workout. And if you guys are struggling with cramps or headaches, you gotta be taking your electrolytes, man. Whether it's electrolyte mixes, taking them raw in pill form that you can get at like Walmart or a vitamin shop. I take mine every night. And I even put pink salt in my pre-workout for a pump and to reduce cramps. But I'm exhausted and I still gotta hit calves. So I'm gonna finish up in here and then I'll meet back up with you guys at the apartment. So wrapping up the leg day, it's actually a decent amount of time passed, but that leg day was amazing. And honestly, everything was just kind of clicking And I didn't even do any crazy weight on, I would say, anything really, especially hamstrings in the beginning. I know I'm going to have to go back and look at the footage, but on my last leg day, I noticed that my lower back was flexing a little bit too much in between reps. And I'm not necessarily a form perfectionist all the time, but I do think it's important sometimes to, slow it down, control the weight, not use as much load, and really, really focus on isolating a muscle to build a deeper mind muscle connection. Not only do I think that that will improve your pumps, but when you do go back to that animalistic, ballistic style of lifting, you'll have a deeper connection with whatever muscle you're doing that with. And that's really what the intended purpose was there. My original intention was to start with a set of single leg hamstring curls and just do one set and kind of alternate between my legs. But I was talking to a bro, got distracted, just went straight for the lion hamstring curl and just started. And then I think halfway through I was like, oh, I was supposed to do something completely different. But it didn't matter because the bottom line is I just wanted to get a good hamstring workout, and that's what we did. The plan changed. I didn't even know that the plan changed until halfway through. And I was just like, oh, well, things are still going well. Pretty cool. And then we moved on to quads, right? Smith machine was open. I've been rocking the single leg Smith machine split squats for 3 weeks now, but I was just feeling something kind of different. I wanted the extra stability of the walking lunges. I feel like I kind of have some balance issues and some imbalances in my quads that, walking lunges can definitely fix. And walking lunges or single leg movements in general when it comes to lunges or split squats, Bulgarian split squats, I think it's safe to say that they're hated by almost everyone. And I've hated them almost the entire time I've lifted in the gym. And I've avoided them for a very long time. And, my quads aren't as developed as I'd like them to be. And sometimes you just got to do the stuff that you don't want to do. And I think it's time that I face reality and realize that they deserve a spot in my training and that they serve a very important purpose. And I think I'm going to keep them in there for a while. They're absolutely brutal, and I definitely want to improve at them. I was gasping for air after every single set. And I did the 70s. And on the Smith machine split squats, I went up to 120 pounds. So did 20 extra pounds, but with free weight, I used straps because I don't want to worry about grip, and I don't want to have to set up a whole barbell. Maybe once I get the weight really up there, and it's just too taxing to hold in my hands, then I'll set up a barbell. And there is a squat rack nearby, so you can do that relatively easily. But moving on through the rest of the workout, nothing complicated. We went on the squat press again. But leaning more into what I was saying on the split squats, or not the split squats, the lunges, my bad. Sometimes you just got to do the stuff that you're not going to like. And that's really what's going to improve your gains the most in the gym sometimes. And there's just aspects of the gym that aren't fun. but they're very important. Cardio is one of them. Um, Certain exercises, there's the argument that you just don't feel it, and then there's the argument that it just sucks, right? And that's the only thing I had. I definitely feel lunges in my quads. I would say I feel like lunges are one of the movements that I feel the most in my quads. But they're just so they're gross, right? They're lunges. They're not fun. I don't have to tell you why. But they're very important, and only avoiding them I think would be a bigger problem. And if they're not going to do anything different, if my legs don't grow anymore, they'll make me more mentally disciplined, and you can say, he's going down the hole, you got to do what's tough. But I think that's important, right? We're not necessarily just trying to get as big as possible. We're also trying to become better, stronger, more resilient people. At least I am. I can't speak for you guys, so I apologize. If you want to stay weak-minded, then by all means do so. But I'm gonna, if no one's gonna point out to me what I need to do to improve my mental state in the gym, I will find it myself, and I will do it, and I will conquer my mind. Um, but anyway, solid workout. I need to get my final meal in and get to bed. And I'll see you at the gym once again when I see you. Have a good one.